The sky over Earth was filled with fire. Not the fire of the sun, not the glow of fireworks, but something far more alien and terrifying. Gigantic ships hovered in the atmosphere, casting shadows over cities that stretched for hundreds of kilometers. Humanity had seen satellites, drones, and space stations, but nothing like this. Commander Elias Kane stood on the observation deck of the UN Space Command, his eyes scanning the enormous fleet that blocked the horizon. Every ship was black, angular, and designed for intimidation. Kane had studied alien technology for decades, but even he had to admit the scale of this invasion was unlike anything recorded. "They've come fast," said Lieutenant Mira Cho, his second in command. Her voice trembled slightly, though she tried to mask it. No warnings, no negotiations, just them and us. Kane did not respond immediately. His mind was racing, calculating possibilities, estimating alien strength, and scanning for weaknesses. "They've given us an ultimatum," he finally said. 72 hours. Evacuate the planet, or be destroyed." The words sounded almost impossible. 72 hours. The planet's population was over 10 billion, and their infrastructure, while advanced, was not prepared for evacuation on such a scale. Ships could not carry that many people, and spaceports were limited. And yet the aliens had given them a chance, a cruel, almost mocking chance. Across the world, chaos erupted. Governments issued emergency broadcasts, urging calm while simultaneously ordering evacuation protocols. People packed their belongings, but many could not believe the reality unfolding in the sky above. Some thought it was a simulation, others suspected a hoax. But when the first alien ships fired probes into the atmosphere, cities trembled. Bridges shook, skyscrapers rattled. Humanity knew it was real. Kane turned back to his team, a group of the best scientists, engineers, and military officers humanity could assemble. "Listen," he said, voice steady but firm. "They think we are weak. They think we are predictable. But humans are unpredictable. Humans think differently. Humans fight in ways they cannot anticipate." Mira Cho raised an eyebrow. "We can't fight them, Kane. Their fleet, they have strength, yes," Kane interrupted, "but they do not understand us. They do not know what humans are capable of under pressure." He moved toward a large digital map that displayed the alien fleet's formation. Each ship blinked with precision, showing patterns that suggested advanced coordination. Yet, Kane noticed something subtle, something that could be exploited. "Look at this," he pointed. "Every formation has a pattern. Every movement has predictability, and they assume we will panic, scatter, or hide." A young officer, Lieutenant Arjun Patel, studied the map. "You're saying we fight them mentally, strategically?" Kane nodded. "Exactly. We can't win with sheer force. We win with brains, with ingenuity, with timing, and we have something they do not." "What's that?" Mira asked. "Time," Kane said simply. "They gave us 72 hours. That is more than enough to show them humans are not as simple as they think. But," he added, lowering his voice, "we will only need 10 minutes to end their empire." The room went silent. 10 minutes. It sounded absurd. One could not imagine overthrowing a galactic empire in 10 minutes. And yet, the confidence in Kane's voice made it feel possible. Meanwhile, on Earth, ordinary citizens were struggling to comprehend the enormity of the situation. Streets were jammed with vehicles, airports were overwhelmed, and trains carried more people than they were designed for. Families clung to each other, unsure if they would see tomorrow. News channels ran continuously, broadcasting the alien ultimatum in multiple languages. But amid the fear, there were sparks of determination. Humanity had faced challenges before, and somehow they had survived. In a quiet laboratory far below the surface, scientists worked feverishly. Quantum computers hummed with energy, running simulations faster than human minds could comprehend. Engineers tested experimental engines and spacecraft designed for rapid deployment. Even as fear gripped the population, A small group of humans prepared for something that no one else could imagine. A plan so bold that it could change the course of history in mere minutes. Kane walked among them, observing the work, offering guidance and reminding the team of what they were capable of. "Remember," he said, "they may have technology we cannot match. They may have numbers we cannot overcome. But we have creativity, we have courage, and we have each other. Never underestimate that." Hours passed and the alien fleet remained in orbit, silent and ominous. Every human eye turned skyward, watching, waiting. And somewhere in that waiting, humanity's ingenuity began to emerge. In the early evening, Kane gathered his team in a secure briefing room. He spread out a large map of the solar system, marking each alien ship, every known base, and possible weak points. "This is what we know," he said. "But what they do not know is everything they have assumed about us is wrong. They believe we will flee. They believe we are scared. They believe we are weak. And they are wrong." A soft buzz interrupted the briefing, a message from one of the reconnaissance satellites. Kane glanced at it, frowning. The aliens had detected minor energy fluctuations, human ships testing engines. It was risky, but it confirmed something else. They were monitoring, yes, but they had no understanding of human ingenuity. Kane's eyes narrowed. "Good, let them watch. Let them think they see everything. It will make the end even sweeter." Night fell, but the alien fleet remained, like dark stars hovering above. Lights in the cities below flickered as millions tried to sleep, unable to shake the fear. And yet, there was a quiet determination among certain groups. Engineers whispered to each other about potential strategies. Hackers tested alien signals. Pilots trained tirelessly, practicing maneuvers that seemed impossible. Humans, in the face of imminent destruction, were working harder, smarter, and faster than ever before. In the darkness of space, the alien commanders convened on their flagship. They had never encountered a species like humans. To them, humans were primitive, fragile, and predictable. And yet something about the resistance, the quiet coordination, and the sparks of ingenuity made them uneasy. It was a small unease, but even that was dangerous. Back on Earth, Kane addressed his team one final time before the first wave of evacuations began. "Remember this," he said, voice calm but commanding. "The next 72 hours are about survival. But never forget, 10 minutes is all it will take to remind the galaxy why humans cannot be underestimated. 10 minutes and everything they know will change." Miracho nodded, gripping his arm. "Are we really ready for that?" Kane smiled, not with arrogance, but with certainty. "We've been ready our entire lives. We just didn't know it yet." Outside, the first alien probes entered the atmosphere. A flash of light illuminated the sky, reflecting in the eyes of every human looking up. Panic threatened to take hold, but Kane's calm presence and the quiet confidence of his team was like a shield. Humanity had been given 72 hours to flee. But as Kane watched the alien fleet and felt the weight of the coming storm, he knew something the aliens did not. Humanity was not about to run. Humanity was about to fight, in a way no one could have imagined, and somewhere, deep inside, Kane whispered to himself, "They think they have 72 hours. They are wrong. 10 minutes will be enough." The countdown had begun. The Earth was in chaos, yet in a quiet underground facility, Commander Elias Kane and his team worked tirelessly. Outside, billions of people scrambled to evacuate the planet, filling trains, ships, and evacuation stations. The sky above was dominated by the alien fleet, silent, dark, and imposing. Yet inside the facility, hope flickered like a candle in a storm. Kane paced the room, his mind racing. "We can't win by force," he said again, as if repeating a mantra. "The Zarathians are too strong, too numerous. But there is another way. We have something they do not, human ingenuity, and knowledge they cannot predict." "Lieutenant," Miracho tapped her fingers on the table, "we've gathered every report, every record of alien contact. Every encounter humanity has had in the past, but most of it is fragmented. What exactly are we looking for? Kane stopped pacing and looked at the team. We are looking for patterns, for old technologies that were never fully understood, for strategies that seemed impossible but worked. Humans have survived disasters before, both natural and man-made. Somewhere in our history, there is a key, and if we find it, we can use it to turn the tide in ways the aliens will never see coming. In the corner, a young scientist named Dr. Layla Hassan was working with several holographic displays. "Commander," she said, pointing at one of the screens, "I've been analyzing ancient human satellites and deep space probes. Some of them contain experimental propulsion and energy systems that were never deployed. If we could adapt them, they could amplify our small fleet's power beyond what the aliens expect." Kane's eyes lit up. "Good. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We take what seems obsolete, what seems weak, and we turn it into a weapon. Humans are unpredictable, and that will be our strength." Meanwhile, in another sector of the facility, Lieutenant Arjun Patel studied old archives of human conflict with alien species. There had been isolated encounters in the past, small skirmishes, strange sightings, and unexplained phenomena. Patel noted that every time humans had been outmatched, they had found creative ways to survive. "They always adapt," he said quietly to himself. "Every time they are cornered, humans find a way out. Maybe that's the answer." Kane overheard him. "Exactly, that's why the aliens underestimate us. They see only what is obvious. They see only strength and numbers. They do not see creativity, courage, or the will to survive. And those things can change everything." As the team continued their work, Kane called for a meeting. Around a circular table, the brightest minds in humanity gathered. There was Dr. Hassan, Arjun Patel, Lieutenant Cho, and several others, engineers, strategists, hackers, and pilots. Each one had a unique skill that would be crucial to the plan. Kane addressed them. "We have 72 hours to save billions of lives. Evacuations will continue, yes, but that is only part of the plan. The rest, the part that no one else expects, will take 10 minutes. 10 minutes to show the galaxy what humans are capable of." A pilot named Jiro Nakamura raised his hand. "Commander, I still don't understand. 10 minutes to do what? To destroy their fleet? That seems impossible." Kane smiled, but it was not an easy smile. "Not destroy in the way you think. We will not attack head-on. We will not fight their ships with brute force. We will fight their expectations. We will turn their strength against them, using strategy, ingenuity, and precision. 10 minutes will be enough because they have never faced a species like us." Dr. Hassan leaned forward. "We have the technology, but it is incomplete. If we combine ancient human systems with our current fleets, we could create a chain reaction that disables their command network. Their ships rely on coordination, break the network, and their strength disappears." "Exactly," Kane said. "We're not just fighting them physically. We're fighting the idea they have of us. They think humans are weak and predictable. We will prove them wrong." The team spent hours analyzing maps, simulations, and alien technology. They discovered patterns in the fleet's movements, noting how each ship maintained strict formations. These formations were perfect in theory, but rigid. Kane realized that if humans could exploit that rigidity, even a small strike could have massive effects. Lieutenant Cho asked, "How do we get close enough without being destroyed?" Kane's eyes gleamed. "Stealth, misdirection, and speed. The aliens expect us to be afraid. They expect us to hide, but we will not hide. We will use their expectations against them. By the time they understand what we are doing, it will be too late." As the hours passed, the team prepared experimental devices. Dr. Hassan adapted ancient energy amplifiers for modern ships. Arjun Patel programmed algorithms that could infiltrate alien communication networks. Pilots like Jiro Nakamura practiced precise maneuvers, perfecting timing that could exploit enemy weaknesses. In the midst of this preparation, Kane took a moment to speak with Mira Cho privately. "Do you ever wonder why they are doing this?" he asked, looking at the massive ships hovering silently above the planet. Cho shook her head. They are an empire. Expansion is part of what they are. They conquer, they control, and they assume that any species that is weaker will comply. They probably think humans will surrender like all the others. Kane nodded. Exactly. That's their mistake. They never consider determination, creativity, or the unexpected. And that is what we will use. The universe has underestimated humans before, and it has always paid the price. Even as Kane spoke, the first signs of evacuation chaos were visible across Earth. Cities were filled with streams of people moving toward spaceports. Ships designed for emergency transport were being loaded beyond capacity. And still, in hidden facilities like Kane's, a small group worked in secret, quietly preparing the weapon of their ingenuity. A plan that would turn 72 hours of fear into 10 minutes of triumph. Later, the team discovered something remarkable in the old archives. A record of a human-made energy pulse from centuries ago. It had been an experiment thought too dangerous to use. But if adapted with modern technology, it could create a ripple effect across the alien fleet's command systems. One successful pulse could render a dozen alien ships useless. Multiple pulses synchronized perfectly could disrupt the entire formation. Kane's mind raced. This is it, he said to the team. This is the key. Combine this with our modern ships, our pilots, and our hackers. Time it perfectly, and we do not just fight them. We outsmart them completely. 10 minutes. That is all we need. The team set to work immediately, testing simulations over and over. Each iteration brought new understanding. Every failure was studied, every mistake corrected. Unlike the aliens, humans did not follow rigid protocols blindly. They adapted, learned, and improved, turning even setbacks into advantages. By the end of the first day, Kane gathered the team again. Tomorrow, we finalize our plan. We will not just be fighting for survival. We will be proving something the galaxy has never seen, that humans are unpredictable, adaptable, and unstoppable. When united, remember 10 minutes is our window. Not a second longer, not a second shorter. And when we strike, we will do it with precision and confidence. Outside the facility, the alien ships remained a constant threat. Their sensors swept the planet, monitoring movements yet failing to detect the hidden preparations of humanity. The Empire believed humans were weak and scared, unaware that beneath the surface a small group was quietly rewriting the rules of engagement. As Kane looked at his team one last time before rest, he felt a strange calm. Despite the overwhelming odds, despite billions of lives depending on their actions, he knew something no alien could understand. Humans were capable of extraordinary things when pushed to the edge. Creativity, courage, and determination were weapons more powerful than fleets of ships, and in 10 minutes, the galaxy would see that clearly. Night fell over Earth, but the underground facility remained bright with activity. Holographic maps glowed, machines hummed, and humans worked tirelessly, preparing for a strike that no one else dared to imagine. Outside, the alien fleet watched silently, confident in its power. Inside, humans prepared, calm and focused, ready to show the universe what it truly meant to be human. And deep in the heart of the command room, Commander Elias Kane whispered, as if speaking to the entire species at once, "They think they have 72 hours. They are wrong. 10 minutes will be enough." The countdown continued. The hours were slipping by like grains of sand through a glass hourglass. Earth's evacuation was in full motion, but for Commander Elias Kane and his team, survival meant more than fleeing. It meant preparation. Outside, the alien fleet loomed like a black storm in the sky. Each ship was massive, precise and unmoving, as if the very air belonged to them. Humanity appeared vulnerable, but beneath the surface, Kane's team worked tirelessly, turning weakness into strategy. "Status report," Kane said, scanning his team. The holographic display in the center of the room flickered with real-time data from satellites, ships, and sensor networks. Dr. Layla Hassan stepped forward. "Energy amplifiers are fully integrated. We've completed test runs with minimal interference. Timing protocols are synchronized across the fleet, ready for final calibration. Lieutenant Arjun Patel added, "The communication infiltrations are complete. We can disrupt the alien network for exactly 10 minutes. After that, the systems will reset. But that window is more than enough to execute the strike." Mira Cho studied the map of the alien fleet. They've started noticing anomalies in their outer patrols, minor losses here and there. We've given them a taste of human unpredictability, but we need to act before they adjust. Kane nodded. Exactly. That's why the countdown begins now. Every second from this moment moves us closer to action. They believe we are panicking. We are not. We are precise, controlled, and ready. In the global evacuation zones, humanity faced the chaos that Kane had hoped to exploit. Cities overflowed with people, yet patterns emerged. Trains moved efficiently along predetermined routes. Ships were dispatched systematically. Volunteers directed the crowd with calm authority. Fear was everywhere, yes, but determination ran deeper. The human spirit refused to crumble, even under the shadow of annihilation. Meanwhile, Kane's team prepared smaller strike units. Pilots trained on simulators, perfecting maneuvers that would exploit the alien fleet's rigid formations. Each pilot memorized every movement pattern, every rotation, every potential blind spot. Humans were fast learners, and under pressure, their minds worked like precision instruments. Jiro Nakamura, one of the pilots, spoke up during a briefing. "Commander, if we time it right, our fleets can create diversions that will trick the aliens into repositioning. That gives us access to their command centers without a direct fight." Kane's eyes narrowed. Exactly. And remember, this is not about brute strength. This is about misdirection, timing, and exploiting patterns. Their numbers are great, but numbers alone do not win battles against intelligence. 10 minutes of perfect execution can change everything. Dr. Hassan leaned over her console. "Commander, we've also incorporated predictive modeling. Every movement the aliens make can be anticipated within a range of seconds. It's not perfect, but it's more than sufficient for precision strikes." Kane's lips curled into a faint smile. It's never perfect, and that's exactly why it works. The Zorathians assume humans are predictable. They assume perfection is impossible. But we will exploit that assumption. Every flaw, every hesitation, every overconfidence will be our ally. As the team finalized preparations, Kane looked at a live feed of the alien ships. Their sensors swept the Earth relentlessly, unaware of the quiet preparations below. Their arrogance was tangible. They assumed humans were panicked, scattered, and weak. The very belief made them blind. Back on Earth, civilians continued their frantic evacuations. Families clutched each other, trying to remain calm, while volunteers coordinated movement through city streets and spaceports. Even in fear, humans adapted. Engineers repaired bridges that were damaged by alien probes. Drivers rerouted massive convoys to avoid congestion. Doctors organized emergency aid stations in record time. Humanity's ingenuity was on full display. In the underground facility, Kane's team ran a full simulation of the plan. Drones representing alien ships moved across the holographic battlefield, responding to predicted human actions. Every potential error was tested and corrected. The team worked tirelessly, reviewing and adjusting every detail. Lieutenant Cho, observing the simulation, frowned. "Commander, the alien fleet is starting to detect irregularities beyond the outer patrols. If they analyze our actions too closely, they might figure out a counter-strategy." Kane's voice was calm but sharp. "Let them observe. Let them think they see the full picture. Humans have a way of turning observation into confusion. Their assumptions are their weakness. As long as we control what they think they know, we control the battlefield." As night fell over the planet, Kane stepped into a quieter part of the facility. He looked at Earth through a reinforced window, the alien ships glowing faintly in orbit. "They think they have 72 hours, he whispered. "They are wrong. 10 minutes is all it will take." Hours later, the first strike teams were ready. Pilots climbed into sleek, modified spacecraft, each equipped with ancient human technology adapted to modern standards. Engineers monitored energy pulses, ensuring every system would synchronize perfectly. Hackers tapped into alien networks, ready to send disruptive signals the moment the countdown hit zero. Dr. Hassan moved among the teams. Remember, precision is everything. 10 minutes is our window. Timing, focus, and coordination will determine the outcome. Every second counts. The pilots nodded, their expressions calm, determined. Despite the weight of billions of lives depending on them, fear was replaced with focus. Humanity's ability to stay composed under pressure was one of its greatest strengths. Kane addressed the entire operation via secure channel. This is not just a strike, it is a statement, a demonstration of what humans are capable of. The aliens believe they are superior. They assume their strength guarantees victory. We will show them that strength alone does not define power. Intelligence, creativity, and courage do. 10 minutes, and the galaxy will see that clearly. Across the planet, subtle movements indicated preparation. Communications networks hummed with activity. Vehicles loaded for evacuation moved systematically. Small human units practiced tactical maneuvers in secret zones, all part of a coordinated effort. Humanity's ability to act under pressure was unmatched, and that would become the difference between survival and annihilation. As the alien fleet continued its silent watch, minor disturbances began to appear. Probes reported anomalies in energy, readings, unusual signals, and unexpected maneuver patterns. The aliens assumed these were errors, small glitches. They did not realize these were signs of preparation, a human mind at work, quietly exploiting every opportunity. Kane returned to the main command room. Every strike, every pulse, every movement must be perfect. The aliens are powerful, yes, but predictable. And humans are unpredictable. Lieutenant Patel adjusted the settings on the communication hack. All systems ready, Commander. The network disruption can begin the moment we initiate the strike. 10 minutes of complete advantage. Kane looked around the room at his team, pride and determination mixing in his eyes. This is it. The final preparation. Every human action, every small contribution, has led to this point. We are not just surviving. We are showing the universe what humans are capable of. The next 72 hours are for survival. The next 10 minutes will be for victory. Outside, Earth's evacuation continued. The world below remained unaware of the precise plans forming in hidden facilities. Humanity appeared vulnerable, disorganized, and chaotic. But the real strength was hidden, quietly waiting for the moment to strike. In the alien fleet, a few commanders began to express concern. Reports indicated minor disruptions, small losses, and inexplicable anomalies. Still, their emperor remained confident. They assumed these were insignificant errors, failures of a primitive species. They did not yet understand that these small signals were the signs of a larger, perfectly timed human plan. Back in the facility, Kane and his team double-checked every system. "We will begin the countdown," Kane said. 10 minutes. That is all we need. Every action, every pulse, every strike must be coordinated. 10 minutes, and the universe will witness the power of human ingenuity. Pilots, engineers, and scientists took their positions. Dr. Hassan monitored energy systems. Lieutenant Cho oversaw fleet coordination. Arjun Patel prepared the final network disruption. Every human in that room was focused, calm, and precise. Kane took a deep breath and addressed the team one final time. "Remember this moment. Humanity has been underestimated for too long. We are not weak. We are not simple. We are clever, adaptive, and capable of turning impossible situations into triumph. 10 minutes, and everything changes." The countdown began. Seconds ticked by, echoing in the minds of every human in that facility. Outside, the alien fleet remained unaware. The moment of truth was approaching. Humanity's ingenuity, courage, and determination were about to be tested on a scale never before imagined. And as Kane watched the black ships hover silently in the sky, he whispered again, as if reinforcing the truth for the entire planet. They think they have 72 hours. They are wrong. 10 minutes will be enough. The final preparations were complete. Every system, every team member, every pilot, and every pulse was synchronized. Humanity had one chance to survive, one chance to turn fear into victory, and one chance to prove that when faced with the impossible, humans rise beyond expectation. The countdown continued. The moment had arrived. The alien fleet hung in the sky like a black ocean, massive ships stretching across the horizon, silent and unyielding. On Earth, billions of humans still scrambled with evacuations, but deep underground, Commander Elias, Kane's team was ready. Every system had been checked, every pilot prepared, and every strategy aligned. 10 minutes. That was all humanity needed. Kane stood on the command bridge, eyes fixed on the holographic display of the alien fleet. Each ship was precisely mapped. Every possible weak point, every patrol, every formation had been analyzed. "This is it," he said, voice calm but commanding. "Remember everything we practiced: precision, timing, and ingenuity. 10 minutes, and the universe will see what humans are capable of." Lieutenant Mira Cho monitored fleet movements. "All strike teams are in position. Pilots report readiness. Energy amplifiers are stable. Network disruption is synchronized." "We are ready, Commander." Kane nodded. "Initiate the sequence." Across the planet, modified human ships launched simultaneously. Sleek, agile, and almost invisible against the backdrop of Earth, they darted toward the alien fleet. At first, the aliens noticed nothing. Their sensors detected minor disturbances, but their arrogance prevented alarm. They assumed humans were panicked, disorganized, and fleeing. But the humans were anything but panicked. Every movement was calculated. Every ship acted as part of a larger, coordinated plan. The first strike units moved along paths designed to confuse the enemy, drawing their attention away from the true target. Dr. Layla Hassan activated the energy amplifiers. Beams of energy surged silently from human ships, invisible to the naked eye but deadly in effect. Within seconds, alien communication networks began to flicker. Signals were jammed, rerouted, and misdirected. Commands meant to coordinate the fleet became delayed and inconsistent. The aliens had never experienced interference like this. Their formations, once perfect, began to wobble. Lieutenant Arjun Patel initiated the network disruption. Streams of code flowed into the alien systems. Bypassing firewalls and security protocols with precision, the alien fleet's central command hubs began to malfunction. Ships no longer moved in perfect synchronization. Patterns that had been rigid and predictable were now inconsistent, opening gaps that human pilots had memorized and planned to exploit. Jiro Nakamura, leading a squadron of pilots, whispered into his communicator, "They don't even know what's happening. Stay on course." His team darted between massive alien ships, narrowly avoiding detection while planting devices designed to amplify the disruption. Every move was precise, every second accounted for. In the command facility, Kane watched the live feed. "Look at that," he murmured. "They think they control the situation. They think humans are helpless, but every expectation they have is wrong. Every assumption, false." The aliens were beginning to notice irregularities. Small skirmishes broke out in the fleet. Patrol ships that had been perfectly aligned collided or lost formation. Minor alarms began to sound, but the alien commanders were unsure of the cause. Panic was creeping in. For the first time, humans were dictating the terms of battle, not the aliens. On the surface of Earth, civilians watched flashes in the sky. Some believed it was part of the alien attack. Few could understand that these flashes were signs of humanity taking control, and even fewer realized that within 10 minutes, the balance of power would shift dramatically. In the underground facility, Kane's team remained calm. Every pulse, every maneuver, every strike was synchronized. Dr. Hassan's eyes stayed glued to the energy readings. "We're halfway through the sequence. Energy amplifiers stable. Predictive modeling shows a 30% disruption in fleet coordination." Kane nodded. Good. Continue. Don't slow down. The next phase is critical. The next phase involved direct interference with the alien fleet's command centers. Small human units, equipped with advanced stealth technology, infiltrated the enemy ships. Using clever misdirection, they moved through corridors and docking bays without detection. Their mission was not destruction, but sabotage, disabling key systems that coordinated the fleet's movements. One unit reached the main hub of a massive alien ship. Lieutenant Cho communicated through encrypted channels, guiding them with precise instructions. Disconnect the primary node. Initiate the cascade sequence. The human unit worked swiftly. Within moments, the node was offline. Energy surges rippled through the ship, and signals controlling nearby vessels faltered. The alien formation began to crumble. The once intimidating fleet now staggered under the subtle but precise human interference. Back on the command bridge, Kane watched the chain reaction unfold. 10 minutes, he said quietly. Just 10 minutes. On the outer edges of the fleet, human ships exploited the chaos. They moved quickly, planting devices and releasing energy pulses. Each action compounded the disruptions, creating confusion that spread like wildfire. Alien ships turned on each other in confusion, colliding and breaking formation. Their weapons, systems misfired. Systems designed for coordination were now their greatest weakness. The aliens began to realize that the humans were not just surviving, they were outsmarting them. A few commanders tried to restore order, issuing commands to correct the chaos. But the disruption had spread too far. The once perfect network of the fleet now teetered on the edge of collapse. Lieutenant Patel monitored the network disruption with satisfaction. They're losing synchronization rapidly. If we keep this pace, the main hub will be completely incapacitated within 2 minutes. Kane nodded. Keep pushing. Timing is everything. Precision is everything. And humans never give up. As the 10-minute mark approached, the human plan entered its final phase. Every unit moved with exacting precision. Energy pulses, network hacks, and physical interventions converged simultaneously. Alien ships faltered, collided, and some even began retreating in confusion. The fleet's once feared superiority was crumbling under a force they could not comprehend, a force born of creativity, courage, and determination. Dr. Hassan's hands flew over the controls. All amplifiers online. Final sequence initiated. The disruption is complete. Fleet coordination is at 0%. Kane smiled, a mixture of relief and pride. It's working. It's really working. Outside, civilians watched in awe as flashes and bursts lit the sky. Many could not understand what was happening, but they felt the shift. Fear was slowly being replaced by hope. Humanity was taking control of its destiny. Inside the facility, Kane addressed the team. This is what humans are capable of. They thought they could intimidate us, control us, and destroy us. But humans adapt. Humans fight with their minds, not just their strength. And in 10 minutes, we have turned the tide of this battle. The alien fleet, once a symbol of unstoppable power, now limped in disarray. Ships drifted aimlessly, their systems malfunctioning. Commanders were scrambling, trying to regain control, but it was too late. Humanity's ingenuity had proven superior. The 10 minutes had passed, but the effects would be lasting. Kane allowed himself a brief moment of reflection. He thought of every human life on the planet, every effort, every sacrifice. It had been worth it. Humans had survived not because they were the strongest, but because they were clever, adaptable, and courageous. The galaxy had underestimated them for too long. Lieutenant Cho smiled, a mixture of exhaustion and triumph on her face. They'll never look at humans the same way again. Kane nodded. No, they won't. And this is just the beginning. The galaxy has learned something important today. Humans are not to be underestimated. Creativity, courage, and determination are our greatest weapons. The team began shutting down the systems, ensuring stability while preparing for the next steps. Humanity's survival was secured, at least for now. The alien fleet, once a looming threat, had been humbled not by sheer firepower, but by ingenuity. Outside, Earth citizens cheered. Some had witnessed the flashes in the sky. Others heard reports of alien ships malfunctioning. The planet, once gripped by fear, now felt hope. Humanity had survived the impossible. Humanity had fought back and won. Kane turned to his team one last time. 10 minutes, he said, voice filled with quiet pride. 10 minutes, and billions of lives were saved. And the galaxy will remember this, they will remember humans. Dr. Hassan nodded. It's incredible. We actually did it. Kane smiled. We didn't just survive. We proved that intelligence, courage, and adaptability are more powerful than numbers and technology. We proved that humans are special. As the alien fleet retreated into space, partially disabled and confused, Kane looked out over the planet. Humanity had been given 72 hours to evacuate. But in 10 minutes, they had ended the immediate threat and reshaped the galaxy's perception of human capability. He whispered to himself, "They think they have all the power. They do not. Humanity. Humans will rise, and no empire will ever forget what we are capable of." The 10 minutes had passed, but the story of humanity's ingenuity had only just begun. The alien fleet was gone, or at least most of it. Those ships that remained drifted in disarray, powerless and confused. Across the planet, humans began to emerge from shelters, evacuation centers, and underground facilities. The fear that had gripped Earth for 72 hours was slowly replaced by awe and hope. Humanity had survived against impossible odds, not through brute strength but through intelligence, ingenuity, and courage. Commander Elias Kane stood on the observation deck of the UN Space Command looking out at the horizon. The sun was rising, casting golden light across cities scarred but not destroyed. Everywhere he looked, humans were beginning to rebuild, to reclaim their planet. Kane felt a deep sense of pride, not in himself alone, but in the collective spirit of humanity. Lieutenant Mira Cho joined him, her face weary but smiling. "It's hard to believe it's over," she said. "They came expecting an easy victory and we—" She paused, searching for words. "We showed them who humans are," Kane finished. "They assumed we would panic, assume weakness, and flee. But humans never just survive. Humans adapt, think, and rise when the world is against them." Below, scientists and engineers worked to repair cities and infrastructure. Human ingenuity had not stopped with the strike against the alien fleet. Every device, every technology that had been adapted for the 10-minute plan was now being used to restore the planet. Bridges, power grids, and communication networks were being repaired or enhanced, often faster than expected. Humans had not only defended their planet, they were improving it. In a control room, Dr. Layla Hassan reviewed the post-strike data. The energy pulses and network disruptions destabilized their fleet. "But the systems are still recoverable," she said. "We didn't destroy them completely. They will retreat and reassess, but they will remember today." Kane nodded. "And that is exactly what we wanted. We didn't just survive. We sent a message. Humans are not to be underestimated." Across the globe, civilians began sharing stories of courage. Volunteers had risked their lives to help evacuate the injured. Engineers had found creative solutions to repair roads and infrastructure. Children, inspired by the events in the sky, drew pictures of humans standing against impossible odds. Every story reflected the same truth. When faced with extinction, humans had risen not as victims but as a force to be reckoned with. In the alien empire, news of the human strike spread quickly. The surviving fleet reported total disruption of their command networks and unprecedented losses of coordination. Their commanders had never encountered such strategy, such adaptability, such unity among what they had assumed was a primitive species. The Zerathians, once arrogant and confident, now realized humans were not to be dismissed. Back on Earth, Kane assembled his team one last time. Pilots, scientists, engineers, and strategists. The very people who had executed the 10-minute plan gathered exhausted but triumphant. You all have done something extraordinary, Kane said. Not just for our species, but for the entire planet. Today, humans showed the galaxy what we are capable of. Creativity, courage, and unity are our greatest strengths. We do not have the largest numbers or the strongest ships, but we have what matters most: ingenuity under pressure. Lieutenant Cho smiled. And billions of lives saved, Commander. We really did it. Kane nodded. Yes, and now begins the next chapter. We rebuild, we strengthen, and we prepare, because the galaxy will take notice. And humans must always be ready. The world watched as the remnants of the alien fleet retreated beyond the solar system. Communications from space agencies confirmed the losses, and governments began coordinating relief and rebuilding efforts. Humanity had survived the impossible, but more importantly, it had proven something to itself and the universe. Humans are special. In the following weeks, humanity began to unite in ways never seen before. Borders mattered less than survival, and cooperation became the new norm. Scientists shared technology openly, engineers worked with unprecedented efficiency, and leaders sought advice from the best minds, regardless of nationality. Humanity had faced annihilation and emerged stronger. Children in schools were taught about the 10-minute strike, not just as history, but as a lesson in creativity, strategy, and courage. Kane's team became symbols of human ingenuity, inspiring millions to think beyond limitations and to act decisively when challenges arose. Kane walked through the streets of a recovering city, observing the resilience of his people. Markets reopened. Public transport began to function again, and small celebrations erupted spontaneously. Humanity was alive, not just physically, but in spirit. People smiled despite the devastation, because they knew that fear had been met with courage and intelligence. Mira Cho walked beside Kane. "It's amazing," she said softly. "We faced the impossible and we won. I think humans will never be the same again." Kane looked at her, eyes reflecting pride and resolve. "No, we won't. We have learned what we are capable of, and the galaxy will learn too. Humanity is not just survivors. We are creators, thinkers, and fighters. We are something the universe cannot ignore." In the skies above, satellites and human ships monitored the remnants of the alien fleet. The Zarathians would recover, adapt, and perhaps return one day. But humanity was ready. The lessons learned, the strategies developed, and the courage demonstrated would serve as a foundation for a new era. Humans had survived annihilation not by chance but by choice, by determination, by ingenuity. Kane addressed a global broadcast, speaking not as a commander, but as a representative of all humanity. Today, we faced a threat greater than anything in our history. Yet we survived. We adapted. We triumphed. And in doing so, we have shown the universe the power of human ingenuity, courage, and unity. Remember this: when the odds seem impossible, humanity rises. We endure. We overcome. And we will always fight for life, for hope, and for our future. The message echoed across the world, inspiring people everywhere. Humanity had learned a profound truth. No matter how powerful the enemy, no matter how great the challenge, humans could rise above expectation. The galaxy had witnessed the 10-minute plan, but Earth knew that it was not just a victory. It was a turning point. Over the following months, humanity rebuilt not just infrastructure, but confidence. Space programs expanded, research flourished, and new alliances were formed. Humans no longer feared isolation in the galaxy. They embraced exploration, prepared for challenges, and aware of their own potential. Kane reflected on the events quietly, standing on a balcony overlooking a recovering city. "We were given 72 hours, he murmured. "But we needed only 10 minutes. 10 minutes to show what humans are capable of. 10 minutes to change the perception of our species forever." Mira Cho joined him, looking at the horizon where alien ships had once hovered. Do you think they'll ever forget? She asked. Kane smiled faintly. They won't. And the galaxy won't either. Humans are not just survivors. We are innovators, fighters, and thinkers. We will rise again, stronger and wiser. And no empire, no matter how great, will ever underestimate us again. The sun rose higher, bathing the planet in golden light. Humanity had survived, learned, and evolved. A new era had begun, an era where humans were not merely inhabitants of a small planet, but a species capable of shaping its destiny among the stars. And in the hearts of every human, the lesson remained clear. When faced with extinction, humans do not run. Humans adapt, humans fight, humans prevail. Commander Elias Kane looked once more at the sky. The stars were vast, the universe immense, but humanity was ready. The 10 minutes had proven it. The galaxy had been warned. The new era of humanity had begun.